Welcome back to the Arise interview. I'm Charles Onyekulu. Now let's talk about the farmers' crisis in India, but from a rather different celebrity-driven perspective. A tweet from the pop star Rihanna to her 101 million followers on Twitter asking, "Why aren't we talking about this?" has meant the world is talking about the Indian farmers' protest and a partial shutdown of the internet and Twitter accounts. And the young climate activists Greta Thunberg and Meena, the niece of the US Vice President Kamala Harris, have also joined in as well. The Indian government, though, haven't welcomed their remarks on the protests, calling them an internal matter. The farmers' protest over new agricultural laws is now in its third month, presenting a huge challenge to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Well, Arise correspondent Judita DaSilva, who is over in London, joins me now for more on this. Lovely to see you, Judita. What's been the reaction to Rihanna wading into the Indian farmers' crisis? I understand it's been a rather mixed reaction.
It has been very mixed, but what has struck me straight away and struck a lot of people is that this has highlighted something that is universally known but consistently unspoken. It's a division between the haves and the have-nots. Those who are all in support of Rihanna tend to be the people, and those who have come out against are the elites, so people in government and a lot of Indian celebrities. But around the world, a lot of people, like I said, this tweet came out on Tuesday night and it's gotten over 730,000 likes. And it's been shared hundreds of thousands of times. So it's gotten people talking. And what you see through the conversations is that average people side with the farmers. And therefore, because they do that, they understand the position that Rihanna is seemingly occupying. But the curious fact about this, Charles, is that no one's actually analyzing what she actually said. Rihanna very cleverly never actually put her opinion. She just said, "Why are we not talking about this?" and put a link to a CNN article about the government's cutting off internet access to the farmers protesting in Delhi. She hasn't actually said what she thinks or her opinion. She just said, "Why aren't we having a conversation?" So it's curious to see how everybody has seen what they wanted, interpreted it in a way that they feel is right, and reacted accordingly based on their own political position.
That's a very good, very sound observation there. And is it unusual in India for an international pop star such as Rihanna to speak up about something like this?
I mean, for India, it is quite unprecedented because there's two sides to this. For the government to actually come out, there was the Ministry of External Affairs that put out a statement. That's unprecedented, but that just shows the kind of power that social media has. Because remember, this has started back in November and comes on the back of things like the Black Lives Matter riots. They know the power social media has. But then also what you have to notice is that the kind of traction it's getting is shedding light on the position that the government has, which is one of assumed guilt. Because for her to say, "Why aren't we having a conversation?" and to have such a visceral reaction to it, people are wondering, why are you so aggressive to this one celebrity when she hasn't actually done anything but ask us to talk about an issue that is affecting thousands of people? So again, by showing the different sides of the arguments, you're getting to understand, one, the power of social media, two, the fear that governments have of social media, because social media represents the power of the people and the power of public voice. And because government ultimately is governed by public opinion, once you can influence or sway that, you pose a threat to them. And so that is something they have to come out guns blazing against.
Well, absolutely. I'll have to agree with that. And there is, as you said, apparently a concerted push from the Indian government to get sort of celebrities who have not expressed any opinion about the farmers' situation to speak up, to counter Rihanna. I mean, that in itself is unusual enough. But in a sense, I suppose, Judita, this has resulted in more coverage for Rihanna, because now, we're hearing that, magazines like Vogue, Teen Vogue and Variety are also suddenly covering the farmers' issue in India.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of goes to a broader issue when you're looking at celebrities becoming political. Rihanna being political is nothing new. Recently, with COVID-19, she donated $1.5 million of her own money towards helping the effort. She has a charity that works constantly around the world to help educate young women. She always speaks up about the things that matter to her. But then looking at celebrities, whether it's Taylor Swift finally becoming political, or Jennifer Lawrence, the Oscar-winning actress, actually starting her first Twitter account because she wanted justice for Breonna Taylor, who was killed by police officers, or LeBron James talking about the issue in Hong Kong. What you are seeing is that the new generation, this is millennials and Generation Z, they are demanding more of their celebrities. They don't want to follow you just because of what you do. They want to believe in you because of who you are. So it's kind of got me thinking about that famous quote from Martin Luther King that says, "I dream of a day when we won't be judged by the color of our skin or the content of our character." In a very dysfunctional, toxic way, which is the world of social media, the general public is demanding more of celebrities. I want to know the content of your character. What are you willing to stand up for? What are you willing to sacrifice what you have to achieve? And then you matter more to people. She has 101 million followers. For her to tweet, she's speaking to 101 million people. Combined with Greta Thunberg, who has 4.6 million, why wouldn't the Indian government panic? Because when you think of opinion polls, social media is the new sphere for opinion judgment. And when you speak to 106 people combined around the world, that's a movement. That's a force for change. That is fuel for revolution. So celebrities, modern celebrities, are more than they used to be because more is expected of them. And that is a remarkable thing that has come out of a toxic environment, which is social media.
Absolutely fascinating stuff. And as of course, Rihanna, as you said, a huge number of followers. I think she's the third most followed person, the third most followed celebrity in the world. And to buttress the point you're making about celebrities like her getting into sort of the political stuff. I mean, she's now moved on from India, hasn't she? I understand that last we saw, she had tweeted about the coup in Myanmar.
Yes, she has, because what this is showing is that with all celebrities, it's about branding. How are you perceived? Not just what are you doing? Because talent doesn't really go for much nowadays. So even when she's moving on, despite all the backlash to India, she still hasn't come out with a response. But what she's showing is that even though I'm famous, I care about what's happening in the world all around the world. In a post-Trump era, you're always hearing the words of unity, the human race, not any one particular race. What she's showing is that she's picking different issues happening around the world and lending her voice to it to show that even in my position of privilege and power, I care about everyone, because she knows she has fans everywhere. But also another important point is to notice how when the Indian External Affairs Ministry actually put out their statement, and celebrities like Bollywood actresses or the cricket player Sachin Tendulkar, none of them actually addressed Rihanna directly. They always said celebrities and others. Sachin Tendulkar said that you should be spectators and not participants. And they said India united against propaganda. That shows an understanding and a reverence for the power social media has. Because the minute you address Rihanna directly, you address 101 million people directly, and you turn them against you. So they always said celebrities and others to be, and through those vagaries, they provide a shield from actually engaging with people, which in turn shows your hypocrisy. So this is why just a single tweet throws up so many problems to the halls of power, because they're dealing with the language that they cannot control.
What can I say? The effulgent Judita DaSilva, Arise correspondent, talking to me there from London. That's it for this edition of the Arise interview. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja and London, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.